there, fam! Natalia Mello here, and today, in today's vlog, I am going to be talking about something that I get asked all the time, which is how I got started in the fitness industry. But I feel like before starting from like the parts that a lot of you guys know, like competing and blah, 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 I need to go back way back when I literally actually started going to the gym, because I feel like a lot of my roots began there. So as a child, I was born in Brazil, and I was always very much into sports. I loved trying all kinds of different things. But my mom, she wasn't a big fan of like paying for a lot of my sports because she said that I wouldn't stick to them and blah, blah, blah. So she threw me in swimming because we were members of a club. And again, as I said, Brazil doesn't have a big sporting support within the school. You have to go to a private club in order for you to like play different sports. You wouldn't have a lot of like sports within the school. So we were a member of a club, and in that club they had swimming, and then my mom threw me in the swimming because we didn't have to pay for it because it was already included in the membership. And like I swam for 12 years, and no offense to any swimmers out there, I hated it. Still hate it. I think I'm scarred for life. I'm traumatized, and you would not catch me dead doing laps in a pool. Don't know why, just can't bear it. Anyhow, back to the fitness stuff. So at age 14, I used to see these women on TV in Brazil with like very strong legs and like looking super fit. And I'm like, holy crap, I want to look like that. But granted, I am like 14, broke, no source of income. My source of income is my piggy bank or my mom's allowance. So I'm like, okay, if I want to go to the gym, I am going to have to sweet talk my mom here, which I find very unlikely. So what I had to do was I had to save my allowance for a month and a half in order to pay for 1 month of gym membership. And like at the time, guys, I'm 36. I started going to the gym when I was 14. Back then, there was not even direct debit. So you would actually come to the gym, pay cash for your month, and then whenever the month was up, you would go there and pay cash again. There was no like rollover direct debit. So I would save my gym, my allowance, which is like the money that like the change money, the pocket money my mom would give me, save it for a month and a half, pay for my gym membership. And I would literally take the bus because, again, my mom wouldn't drive me because she had to work, and she again, thought that the gym was a waste of time and money. So I'll take the bus, go to the gym, still remember, go to the gym, train for as many hours as I could because I wanted to make my money's worth, because again, I could only go to the gym every other month because I had to save for a month and a half in order to be able to pay for 1 month. So I would go take the bus, go to the gym, train for as many hours as I could, and then take the bus and go to swimming practice because my mom said that if I wanted to go to the gym, I had to keep on doing sports. And by sports, she meant the free one that was available in the club. So I would go from the gym, take the bus, go to swimming practice, and then take the bus to go back home. This at 14. So I think that's kind of how the whole gym thing is started, and enjoying like having the ability and having the control and the power to change the way I looked. And I think that the fact that my mom was so against it, against me going to the gym, almost made me want to push even more, just because I'm a teenager, like I was a teenager, and going against what my mom said was just fun. All you moms who are moms of teenagers who probably relate to that. So fast forward to about when I was 19, 20, I moved to the US for good. I was an exchange student when I was 16, and then I think I gained like 20 pounds when I was an exchange student, moved back to Brazil. And then whenever I was like 19, I moved to the US for good to live here. and I just started like putting on weight. Even though I was still kind of training and I didn't have a lot of knowledge, I didn't know much about training, nutrition, how to eat properly, and then I just started putting on weight and weight. And I still remember to this day, I was in a friend's house once and I ordered a burger. And I was eating a burger like almost every night. And this one, it was bacon and it had cheese and it was like a super extra big set, like it literally was this big. And I was like starting to burst out of my clothes. But I feel like I was a bit on denial and I thought that it was like, oh yeah, like they are reducing the sizes of the clothes in the store that I buy. No, I was actually just putting on weight. And then I'm about to take a bite of that burger, and then I have a friend of mine. He was the bluntest person you ever come across in your life. And then he just looks over as I'm about to take that bite, and he's like, let me ask you a question. You were just complaining about your pants, like about you bursting out of your pants. Do you really think you should be eating that burger right now? Honestly, like this was years and years, like 17 years ago, and I still remember like the very moment I put that burger down, and I'm like, he's right. And that's kind of when I start to get my shit together again, as far as like training goes and having a little bit of a more consistent schedule with my training and paying attention to what I was eating. Then I started losing weight, and then after that I started to bartend, and then I felt like I started to live a very unhealthy lifestyle with working the bar business and working at night. And I just felt like I needed something to, and I was still training throughout the time, but I was just going through the motion. And although I felt like my body looked good, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel healthy. I didn't feel my best. So whenever I started working in bartending in the bar business, it got to a point that I felt like I need to do something about the life that I'm leading, because something has to change. I wasn't fulfilled, and that's when I heard about fitness competitions. And this lady in the gym that I used to go to started telling me about this new division in the fitness industry that was the bikini division that had just come to the IFBB. This was about around 2008, 2009. So not long after that, I signed up for my first competition. I did my first competition, I won that, and then I did a few competitions after that. I won them, and then I turned pro, and then I started getting featured in magazines and things like that, and the whole thing just started to become a bit more serious. I never took competing serious from like, oh my God, it's like that's my job. I was always very realistic. Like I kept on bartending throughout. Like when I won the Olympia, I was bartending. I was working night shifts. I was dealing with drunk people, just because I understood, and that was something that very early on, I had very good mentors within the industry that they were like, competing is not a career, like it's not a job. It is a platform that you use to build something. And that build something could be to coach competitors or to coach posing or to coach whatever it is related within the fitness industry. And then in 2012, I won the Olympia, which for you guys that are not familiar is the most prestigious competition in the world in the bodybuilding industry. But there was something that I always found that was weird. I loved competing. I loved being in the industry, but I absolutely despised being a coach for competitors. Not because I dislike competitors, but it just wasn't something that I was passionate about. I loved talking to people. Like through my fitness career, I have done like over, I would say 35 seminars, and all of them, I have been able to travel to 25 different countries, talking to people about fitness, about leading a healthier life. And that has always been what I enjoyed, but not necessarily coaching competitors. And then whenever I became pregnant with my son, I really, really found my calling. Like I really found that working with moms and working with women who had a baby, or who were about to have a baby, or who were pregnant, that was my jam. You know, like I always joke saying that if it is not a hell yeah, it's a no. Whenever I start working with moms and with women who wanted to become moms, I was like, hell yeah, that's it. So that's when I found like my big calling, and I'm like, I love this. Like it doesn't even feel like work. And I know that this sounds very cliche, but ultimately it is the truth. And then I was like, okay, if this is the path that I'm gonna choose for my fitness career, and again, I missed the part where I was a personal trainer starting from 2010, 2009. Again, I had been training for the longest time, and then whenever I started to compete, I was like, you know what, I'm also gonna do some personal training on the side on top of bartending, because I liked that opportunity to change people's lives. But I never found the people, like my people, you know, like I never found the people who I really enjoyed working with. I enjoyed all my clients, but I couldn't pinpoint which was the one thing that I loved about working with those different people. And eventually I found that it's because all of them were moms. And then that's kind of when I was like, okay, I'm pregnant. That's when I was pregnant with my son. I was like, I feel like I have a moral responsibility to know what the hell I'm doing. One, with my own child, to make sure that I'm training safely and that I'm like keeping my my unborn child's safety and health first before my own vanity metrics of like looking a certain way during pregnancy. But I also had a moral responsibility with the people who followed me to give them and provide them with correct information, with safe information, and to not just be like, oh yeah, sure, you can totally do that. Look, I'm doing, because like I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh, I've been pregnant, I know what I'm doing. It's almost saying that you can be a gynecologist because you have a vagina. Like, no. Like just having a vagina or just it doesn't qualify you to be a gynecologist, and just having teeth does not qualify you to be a dentist. And it is the same thing with being a pre and postnatal coach. Just being pregnant or being a mom doesn't necessarily qualify you to be a pre and postnatal coach, which I feel like a lot of people are missing that point, because there's so many things about training pre and postnatal moms that need to be taken into account that I didn't even know before I started to take courses and I started to dive in and to learn more about this specific part of my personal training business at the time. So that's when I started to really try to learn more and to do researches and to take courses and to do all these things that, and then I feel like also from the experience that I had as a competitor and like that all or nothing mentality that came from competing and the on season, off season, making the transition to being a mom and to having to find a much more balanced approach to the way I trained, to the way I ate, to the way I structured my day. Like before, I could train whenever. I could train for as many hours as I wanted to. I could like make up for the food that I ate too much by spending extra hours in the gym, which now looking back is freaking stupid, but that is just like my mindset. I had the time to spare, and after I became a mom, I realized that my reality was different, and I feel like that's something that a lot of moms also struggle with, is finding that happy medium and happy place with where they can find balance. And they can be in a shape in which they are comfortable and they are confident in, but it still allows them to go to a birthday party with their kids, to have ice cream with their kids, to not have to spend hours upon hours in the gym. So I think that fine-tuning that, I think that my whole journey into fitness, from one very extreme side of things to the other very extreme side of things when I was like shoving burger down my throat, I think that all of the experiences have made me the trainer that I am today, and have made the methodology that I use to coach my girls now so efficient, because I feel like I have done it all. I have done crash diets, cabbage soup diets. I have done hours in the gym style of training, and I had to find something that gave me the same result that I had when I had all the time, but with the limited amount of time that I had, and with the limited amount of time that I had to prep all the food and to be eating goodness knows how many meals a day. So I think that this is just like an overview of how my fitness career started, and about the things that I do now with my programs, the 4 Weeks to Fit Transformation, and the Mother Strong League, which is my program for moms that takes into account all the transitions and the changes in the body of a woman. Right now, we only cater, at the time of this recording, we only work with postpartum moms, but soon in April 2020, we're going to be launching the Bump edition, which is going to be for moms who are expecting as well. And I try to put everything that has not only worked for me, but also has worked for like over 2,000 women that I have worked with over the years of my career. I have put all of that into practice and created a bit of a time framework or formula, if I can say that, to make sure that everybody gets consistent results. So that's a little bit about my experience as a trainer, and where everything started, and where I am today. And I think that another interesting part is that because I lived in like 3 different countries, and I have done seminars in so many different countries, like over 25, I've had the opportunity to experience fitness in all these different places, which allows me to cater to people who live in different countries. I understand that some countries you do not have as many options of machines as you would in a gym in the United States. So I try to make the programs in a way that allows people from all over the world to still get the results, and they still do the workouts, and not feel left out because their gym doesn't carry that specific type of equipment. So I really do feel that my exposure to different cultures, different countries, has allowed me to cater best for my community and the people who I serve. And that's it, guys. That's a little overview of how I got started. I hope you enjoy it. If you like my content, if you've been liking my vlogs, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and let me know what else you would like to know about my fitness career, about the programs, about my personal life, about the results that the people I'm working with are getting. I'm all ears, and I would love to give you more of what you want to see and what you want to hear. So make sure you write it in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.